We're not going to try again because I had a read.
It's not qualifying, Max. Box kick.
Yeah, I know, but I want to have a proper read.
This is Paddock 43, the podcast, your weekly rundown giving you all things F1 from both on and off the track.
From races, trades, rumours, the lifestyle, and all the things that come with the F1 world.
We are Amy, Elle, and Pat. Let's get into it.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Paddock 43.
Hello.
Pat is still tuning in from... Where are you now? You in Greece?
I'm in Greece now.
Greece, okay.
I'm in Glyfada.
And look how glamorous she looks. Like a Grecian goddess.
She's
on the screen.
glowing.
You are glowing.
Pre-wedding glow. Just show us that ring again. Just give it a little flash.
She
Give it a
needs
little
a clean.
flash.
Also, I need to get my nails redone.
Oh, do you?
So much to do.
Wow.
Pat's getting married in what? Is it 5 days now?
5 days.
5 days.
5 days.
So this is her
Crazy.
last podcast
Before
as a single woman that with a boyfriend.
Yeah.
a de facto woman.
A de facto
As a
woman.
de facto woman.
Last episode is a de facto.
Oh, crazy.
And you told us that you were watching the Grand Prix on the beach. Please just
I
enlighten
was
the
actually
Australian
so-
listeners about this experience.
No, I was so frustrated because
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, cool, I'm going to watch it on the beach. And then my phone had no service. I was like, cool, I'll get home and I'll watch it. And then the Wi-Fi just decided to not cooperate with KO. I was texting you guys. I finished the race at the time that you guys started watching the race.
Oh, because I watched
Oh.
it live. Did
Yeah,
you?
Amy watched it
I watched
live.
it live.
I was up early
I'm very
on the bike.
tired.
One.
Except I mean, I know that we're going to get into the race, except I spent most of like my hour on the bike. So I do an hour on the bike whilst I watch it. And I felt like that was mostly just watching
on you.
pre-race and then like the break in like the delay in the start. Like that's what I was watching the whole time because I refused to like forward it. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I must watch the
You
whole
need to
thing.
watch it
So
all.
it
Need to watch it all. But
And
this week,
was not as glamorous as a beach. A
no,
Greece beach.
the Monza Curse. The Monza Curse was not glamorous.
Clerse.
Monza Curse. Curse? Oh, now I'm saying Curse.
It turned into the Nico Rosberg Curse again.
I know. Nico.
Thanks a lot, Nico.
Oh,
But-
Nico.
But Max also almost got gobbled up by the Monza Curse because he had some issues on the last few laps.
Oh, we have
did
so
have
much
issues.
to discuss.
Nico delayed the Monza Curse, so it got Ferrari. But then, if there wasn't a delay at the start, it probably would have got Max. That's my theory.
Yeah, true.
Oh.
Fun. But before we actually really get into it,
Mm.
how was your weekend?
The huge. Well, Pat, you wouldn't know this, except it was 20 degrees and sunny here, Saturday and Sunday, so it was lovely.
Good.
It was scrumptious.
Read all weekend, and didn't watch. I read The Spare.
I don't know
Tara's
how
book.
you read all weekend.
Oh,
And
did
My
you like it?
boy, he complains and woe me, but anyway,
really.
that's a whole different topic. What do
Can
you
you
get up
lend
to?
it to me once I get back?
Oh yeah, you can have it. I'm pretty sure there's like food in between the pages as well because I'm reading and like dropping food whilst I was reading. So you have to deal with that.
Here's some spaghetti.
It was one of those books that I was like, I'm never picking this up again, so I don't care. It gets dirty.
It's like the ones that you highlight and like scribble in. You're like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm never going to read it again. But then you lend it to someone and they're like, what have you done?
Exactly that
What are
situation.
you doing there?
I would just like to apologize to any listeners if I am slurring and for any of this video footage.
She's drunk.
Elle's drunk.
I
No.
am I'm not. I had some feelings this afternoon with a lot of numbing cream or numbing injections, whatever they do, and I'm still like trying to regain function.
Is it the
in
gum?
my
Is
mouth.
it the gum blockers? So where they go straight into your gums?
Yeah. Oh, they did everything.
Yeah, I think
They
that's them.
hurt as well.
Yeah.
I think like the video that you sent Amy and I needs to be reposted on.
I
our
was going to say
socials
we
just
need to
for
repost that
comedic relief.
just for a lol.
Yeah, it's so
I'm
good.
not reposting that, so that's in your
We'll put
hands
it on-
now.
We'll put it on the story at
We'll be
least. We
reposting
won't
it.
get you onto the grid, but we will do the story.
Well, how was your weekend, Amy?
My weekend was good. I had an event Friday night, so that was really fun. And then I accidentally stitched my partner up because I forgot to mention that it was black tie.
Oh my God.
Oh,
So he rocks up in like a grey suit with a red tie.
Oh dear.
It was an accident though, because I took a screenshot of the invite, sent it to him. But you know when you take a screenshot and it has like the little barrier things at the top?
Oh yeah.
It had the dress code blocked out.
Oh.
So that wasn't really my fault.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Ended up page 3 of the paper as well, so that was fun.
Oh well, must have looked good.
Yeah.
Regardless.
At least he was in a
It's fine.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the races.
Exactly. And then we had watched the local footy on Saturday, then nothing Sunday, watched the Grand Prix. That's about it.
Nice.
How is
Nice one.
the sun in Barcelona and now Greece? How is it?
Yeah, so I arrived to Greece on Friday, and I was waiting in the airport for like 4 hours. I should have just gone to Peter's uncle's house in Athens. I don't know why I was like, I'll wait in the airport until you guys land. But it was nice to see Peter. But I am not as relaxed as what I should be before a wedding. I've been running around doing a lot of different things, or we've been running around with Peter's parents. We met up with our planner. Peter and his family all ended up getting food poisoning. So that was
Oh
fun.
no.
Mm.
So, yeah, it's, we're getting there. But I've had a few little stints in the sun, so that's been nice. Tomorrow we go to Paros, and I think then it'll start to feel really real. It's happening. I didn't watch all the practice sessions because it's a little bit hard,
Yeah, neither did
but
I.
yeah, just kind of fit in parts of the Grand Prix where I could.
I mean,
But
you
it was a
deserve to
very
have some time
successful
off. You
weekend.
should.
Nothing
be able to relax.
better than a dip in salt water.
Especially
Just-
in Europe.
Calms the soul.
For sure.
Though, except saltwater
Eugene.
dips in Melbourne are slightly miserable
And gold.
and freezing. It's horrible.
Gold,
May
And
as well
gross
be in
water.
Antarctica. It's cold.
for sure.
Anyway,
Should we get into it?
moving on. I think the biggest thing we all would agree on is we finally have pen to paper with Lewis and George.
Mm.
2
I
years.
I don't know. George, I expected.
Yeah.
I didn't think he would leave.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis, I don't know. I wasn't expecting that.
Did it surprise you?
2 years. I think also just the way that he behaved. The way he behaved, that sounds really like I'm having a tantrum. But like just some of the things that he said over the weekend just gone in Monza, I was like, he just doesn't seem happy. He doesn't seem to be enjoying being with Mercedes. And he's kind of like cracking it and throwing a bit of a tantrum. And then Toto's also throwing a bit of a tantrum. And it's like,
Toto throws the most tantrums right now.
oh, I mean,
He's
like I
been
said, we'll get
throwing
into
a
it. But
lot.
like Toto was such a sourpuss when he was like, obviously Max got his
The 10 wins.
10
yeah.
wins.
It's only for
and he was like, it's
Wikipedia.
only for Wikipedia. No one looks at those numbers. Well, Toto, that's all that we're talking about. Like,
Shut up.
anyway, I was surprised about that. How do you guys feel about Lewis and George re-signing?
I was just going to say as well, I'm sure everyone saw the comments that Lewis Hamilton made about Max Verstappen.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
How he
that.
said he's not had the challenge of racing against strong teammates during
Yes.
his and Red Bull's period
Mm.
dominance. So a lot of backlash has
Well,
come out.
I think
Look-
I really
Since
just
those
feel like Toto and Lewis haven't recovered
Well,
from Abu Dhabi.
Lewis also said something like he's always had amazing teammates, and he round off all the teammates of Mercedes that he's had, and he left out Max. Like it's just like there's some sort of jealousy or something going on
Yeah.
there.
As
There's
I
like
said, they
competition.
Just haven't recovered from
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, Toto was just cracking it this weekend.
Yeah. Like George was definitely. I thought George would have actually gotten longer, if anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, most of the grid is confirmed for 2024 now, right? There's only one or two slots. I mean, AlphaTauri is
Alpha-
probably the big question.
Mm-hmm.
Alfa Romeo,
That's really it, isn't it?
and
Are
yeah,
they the only seats left?
I think Williams will probably end up keeping Logan. I don't know. I don't think that's much of a worry. I think the AlphaTauri is going to be the biggest.
Yeah, definitely.
question there about
Yeah.
what's happening.
Even for AlphaTauri, just like Reese, we have that mini series coming up about Yuki, and researching information about Yuki and seeing how his performance has declined over the last 3 years. I hope he doesn't lose his seat, but it kind of made me question his
I feel like it
performance.
could.
Well,
It could happen. Like Liam outperformed him last weekend.
I mean-
and this weekend because Yuki didn't even start.
Yeah,
I mean, as we know,
that was the car's fault.
the engine's fault that Red Bull also has, actually, by the way. As we know, AlphaTauri has had more drivers this season than points.
What a
Just
stat! What a
Grim.
what
stat.
a grim stat to have next to your name. That just makes me go, oh, I feel
It's a bit icky.
bad. If you guys had to score the Monza race this weekend that's just been out of 10, what would you give it?
7.
Yeah, I think my experience watching it with the Wi-Fi glitching just made it really fucking
Yeah,
annoying.
fair.
And then just the start of the race as well, which we'll get into, that was really frustrating. It's like the Wi-Fi suddenly started working, and then aborted formation lap, aborted start of the race. I was like, can we just watch the race? Yeah, I'd say about a 7.
Yeah.
Or 7.5.
Are you giving them a half
was
because it was
entertaining.
Ferrari?
No, 8. I'm going
Is
to
that
give it an
because
8.
Ferrari was
Ah.
on pole though?
Yeah, I mean, I
Like the
think
race or the
we'll get into this, but
weekend?
watching Carlos.
Oh, well, the weekend. Yeah, I mean,
Okay, the weekend I would rate it a little bit. Oh,
no, okay, the race. I take it back.
just the
It's
race.
just the race.
Yep, 7.
I'll give it an 8.
I mean, like, it probably deserves more than a 7 because I definitely feel like if you're someone that likes watching like the midfield and the battles between the midfield, it would have been an exciting race. Whereas a lot of F1 fans that don't enjoy it, like they only want to see the battle for the top, they'd probably say it was like,
Yeah.
people were saying they're falling asleep. Where I was like, oh my God, he went off
at
again.
1 a.m. for you. Well, I'm going to be.
But I think the battle for the top, sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say, I think the battle for the top was more entertaining because of Carlos's fight.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Like those top 6 positions were really exciting.
Yeah.
It was, but I still give it a 6.
You give it a 6.
Because I also didn't even like bloody broadcast cameras weren't even showing the back end of the race. I'm sorry.
They forgot to show Ocon retiring.
Yeah, I didn't see
know.
Liam Lawson once, except for in that first lap. And if you're his I don't know, if you're a fan of him, you're not seeing him. He just, you may as well have not watched him. You would have had to go into download the Sky News app, press the red button, whatever they say, and like be on his camera on board.
Yeah.
And he performed well.
I guess we know why my score is so high. Then.
Yeah.
Because you were like, yes, Ferrari.
Carlos Leclerc.
I was going to say that there's like basically not really confirmation, but yeah, Daniel Ricciardo out for Singapore. Rehab's going well, but yeah, they're saying Qatar. And I was like, I called it. I called Qatar. Yes.
I didn't think he would be at Singapore. I thought that track would be a little bit too hard.
I don't know why they ever
surgery.
said that he may have been. I was like, well, that's just dumb. Practice.
Practice.
Now,
Too. I actually didn't watch too much of practice. I missed P1 and P2 because I was in an event, and then I put.
I
on.
actually heard no. I had confirmation from a friend that Amy apparently was watching practice at this event.
I
at the
hadn't finished
table.
talking. You butted in. Yeah, I was about to say
Just
yeah.
after you say
I
you
did.
didn't watch it.
I did. Like I had it up for like 5 minutes, and then I was like, I probably shouldn't do this. Because then David was like, "You always tell me I can't watch the footy at the table," and I was like, "David, no one's at the table. Like everyone's dancing. Leave me alone."
And this is my job.
Pat, did you get to watch practice?
No, I just rewatched some parts of it. But I think the thing that stood out to me was just Alfa Romeo had a terrible practice one. I think at one point, Zhou Guanyu was complaining about, he literally was saying the car is undrivable, which is
You know what was good about the Alfa Romeo though?
it's not a vibe.
How good did their livery look?
What?
Yes, it looked schmick.
It made me
Yes,
want to
it
eat a
did look
pizza.
good.
Ferrari made me want to go to McDonald's.
Yeah. Well, Ferrari's new livery. McDonald's are a 4 and 20 buy.
Looks beautiful.
Except
the Ferrari.
Alfa Romeo needs to keep that. That looked
What did
beautiful
McLaren
on their
do?
cars.
They put too much effort in making the car look good. They forgot to actually make the car
Yeah.
look
Yeah. Well,
They're like, wait a second, this thing actually needs to like start and go.
Checo's car didn't even really start and go. He crashed in practice 1, which was, you know, pretty standard. I think he had like, what did he have? Like a leaking power unit or something like that. And I was like, oh, there he goes
I
again.
was like, what do you mean?
He's always got to have a
Perez-
crash.
Perez, a red flag. Shock horror. It's a Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I love when they do the podium of the practice and it's like, that's not even like a real podium, but that's when everyone started thinking about the Monza Curse. Like, is this real? Is
They
this
made
going to
it
happen?
so dramatic.
Oh, everyone was talking about it. Everyone was
All
talking
over
about
TikTok.
it. And then I kept saying Max Verstappen instead of Verstappen.
You always say Verstappen,
I know. And I didn't realize that I was pronouncing it with an R.
didn't you? I just thought that's just how you pronounced it.
Oh my God, no. A poor,
Yeah, same.
oh, I know, and correct me. A poor girl on
Because I
TikTok
thought
was
you-
like, I thought you were joking. And I was like, no.
I thought that's just how you
Just blame it on the
I
feeling.
thought that's just how you pronounce it. Like you, like it's a joke way to
same.
pronounce it because how he has
No.
it, how he like rolls his R's.
No.
Oh.
It's the feeling.
You're not as articulate as Mel.
It's the feeling.
Anyway.
Anyway, moving on. Alpine were really slow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing with practice. Like,
Terrible.
I like watching practice, but then also I'm like, they were slow, but doesn't mean anything.
No.
They're literally just testing things out. I mean, some of the best commentary was when Max was like, I want to do another lap. And his engineer was like, no, please come into the garage. And he's like, no, I haven't learnt enough. And he does another lap. And then his engineer goes, did you learn
Oh,
anything?
yeah.
And he goes, no.
And then it was what was the other thing he said? He's like, Max, it's not qualifying.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. But it kind of just proves like that's why he's so good.
Yeah.
Because he wants to, even in practice, he
Yeah.
wants to go out and nail
He
it
just
and
works
just,
so hard.
yeah, take in everything he possibly can.
But then it's funny when they say, did
Yeah.
you learn anything? And he's like, no, I didn't.
Did not
Like-
learn a thing.
It's all fine.
He learned the exact same thing as he did the lap before.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely nothing new.
Practice 1 showed us the podium, sorry.
Did it?
If we swap Carlos and it was if
Oh,
we swap
yeah.
Carlos and Sainz.
Well, it showed the
Pettis
top
around.
3.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Mm.
Verstappen, Sainz.
I did too.
Pettis.
I didn't even think about that.
I wonder how often it does that and we just don't realize.
Probably all the time.
Probably.
Well, probably all the time with Red Bull, but
Yeah. Very true.
I was just gonna say, practice 2, Stroll had system issues again. I feel like he had the same thing last week.
I'm just waiting for his dad to fire him.
He won't. He won't.
Surely.
The more I think about it, I don't think he will. But also, I don't know about you guys, but he is kind of the driver that I forget about, Lance Stroll.
I always forget. that he's
Because
there.
And then after
Oh my
the
Lord.
drivers debriefing after the Monza race on Sunday, all the drivers are walking out, like laughing with each other, walking out in pairs, having a good time. And I was like, oh, look at them. Nice bunch. And then like 2 meters behind there comes Lance. And I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about Lance.
I don't know. He doesn't perform at all.
He was performing at the start of the year. They put too much money into the car at the beginning of the year. Now they're like, we have
But
the
even when
money.
he was performing, like Fernando was at the top of the grid and he was still midfield, below midfield.
Yeah,
I feel like he
true.
needs someone that he can directly compete with, not someone that is miles ahead of him.
He can go with Logan Sargent.
And it's probably not, it's actually, you know what? It's probably not a bad fit because then they
Yeah.
will actually bounce off each other with that competitive
Yeah.
edge. I think that's what you need. Sometimes you don't need someone that's miles ahead of you,
Yeah.
older than you. You don't want to look up to that person. You need that person right next to you that's going to fight with you that whole way. So maybe that's what
Yeah,
he's
I need
missing.
that.
Maybe he needs Yuki. Yuki and Lance could be a fun little
Yeah, actually,
pairing.
I can see that.
Maybe bring more of a personality out of Lance.
Yeah, well, I always thought maybe he can't have a personality because his dad is obviously the owner of the team and a billionaire. And that's a lot of
a lot of-
reputation that you have to hold up.
Gotcha.
So I can definitely see that
Yeah.
being like a, you know,
Yeah, definitely
holding
That makes
this
sense.
lifestyle back.
Yeah,
in ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of feel sorry for him.
Very true.
Mm.
It'd be hard to have a billionaire as a dad. What did you guys think of qualifying? Because it showed some really interesting things, but then obviously it wasn't as exciting as like previous qualifying sessions.
Well,
I feel.
we had the tyre allocation.
Yeah.
So Q1 you had to have hard tyres, Q2 you had to have medium tyres, Q3 soft tyres. So they say it creates a more even playing field.
I don't think it did.
I don't think it does.
No.
Yeah.
No, because in Q1 out was
It's
Joe
just
Guanyu,
bias.
Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon, Kevin Magnussen, and Lance Stroll, which is a pretty kind of standard-ish, maybe besides Pierre. Pierre kind of like he jumps into Q3 occasionally. But I don't know. I feel like it didn't really do as much as I thought it was going to do.
I think just an all-up crappy day, crappy weekend for Alpine.
Yeah, would have been hard for them
Not
as
sure what
well, like being on the
happened.
podium
Yeah,
last
tough.
week. To not making it out of Q1 would have been difficult.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Lando, he even just made into the top 10. I think it was
Yeah.
13 1,000ths of a second that he made it into the top 10.
It was both
Can
him.
you wrap your head
and-
around
No,
13 1,000ths?
that's faster than a blink.
Can you? I'm blinking now. I don't even know if that's.
Insane.
Like what is
Yeah,
that?
I'm-
Like that's why they need to bring in that ghost qualifying visual at the end of
it would
qualifying
have to be
sessions.
so incredibly zoomed
yeah,
in.
or just because
It's
I
an
guess
insane amount of speed.
from a zoomed out view, it just looked like they're all literally in
I feel
the
like
same spot.
Lando would have been very frustrated.
I
with
wonder what that is on a
positioning.
fingernail. Maybe it's like that much of your fingernail.
Probably nothing. I reckon it's small.
Probably that.
This is like a huge conversation to have, and I'm just thinking maybe we could do a mini on this because I don't know anything about this. Like the technology to calculate that.
Yeah, it's all cameras and
We should do a mini on that actually.
I mean, saying that was it qualifying or practice when Carlos and Charlos? Charlos? Actually, that's quite good.
Carls and Charles.
Okay, so when Charlos.
that could be their
Yeah,
joint name.
well, Ferrari
Charlos.
doesn't really do driver 1, driver 2. They're more like a team, right? So
Mm.
it is Charlos. So Charlos had the stewards on them because they thought they were going too quick behind a safety car, and technically they were, but they were lenient about it, and they had all the cameras, and then all the broadcast reporters were like holding timing it, being like, look, see, they are like at 141 and it should be 143, so they were clearly going 2 seconds fast. Anyway, interesting.
Isn't that 2 seconds too slow,
So yeah, other way around. What did I say?
Yeah.
too fast. But I thought it wasn't a
It was
safety car. I thought it was just like
141
after
instead of 140.
after you do your flying lap, you
Yeah.
have to go a certain speed.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
safety car line.
Oh,
like
okay, yeah.
I don't know, very confusing.
So like hypothetically, if the safety car was going around,
Yeah.
they have to be behind that. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
and they went over it
Yeah.
too quickly.
That just made me giggle because they were investigating it, and then when Ferrari got pole, they were like, "Okay, no, we're just going to drop this. We are going to
I reckon
give
that was for the
Ferrari
fanfare.
the weekend
Surely
because
that's
they need to have it."
surely that's for
Yeah.
the fanfare.
Yeah.
I was like, they've done this for Pat. It's her wedding present.
I think if the
Yep.
stewards came out and said there were penalties for Carlos and Charles, there would have been a riot out, I don't know, wherever the office is of the FIA at each Grand Prix. There would have been like angry Ferrari fans out the
Yeah.
You're
front.
probably not wrong. I did have this thought, and I
Oh.
was just,
The Porsches would have gone crazy.
they have to be so careful. There's like with the spectators of the sport, there's probably your 2 spectators at the moment. You've got your diehard fans that have been around for a long time, and then you've got your new fans. Your diehard fans are probably committed to a team. They're probably appreciating seeing Max get this history and move forward. These new fans are probably a little bit frustrated, being like, I want to see someone else win, and maybe they're dropping off the sport. We don't know what those numbers look like. Look like. And so then a part of me was like, what if they were fixing this because they were like, Ferrari's an Italian brand, like we have to, make this like a strong
100%. They would have
thing.
Yeah, they would have been like, we
Yeah.
need to give this to them this weekend. They've actually gotten it right
Yeah.
for once.
To keep it you know, keep
Keep the
those
peace.
spectators and
It's ironic that it's their home
Yeah.
race.
keep the pace, keep the viewership, keep
Yeah.
the people on the ground as well.
Exactly.
Surely there's like someone
Yeah,
with a
just-
marketing experience in some boardroom somewhere being like, guys, we need to let Ferrari through.
100%. I mean, Ferrari, as loyal as their fans are, they've lost a lot of fans. I mean, my dad in particular was a massive Ferrari fan his whole life. And he still is. But when I speak to him about it, he's just like, oh, shit. They fucked everything up. Like, he's so angry at
Yeah.
Ferrari.
Well,
They
definitely
needed
after they got through
something.
qualifying, I was like, all right, pray for the
Yeah.
Ferrari pit crew team.
Oh my God,
that
I know.
they perform
Like,
well.
the straight line speed that Ferrari had was incredible. Like, even,
Hey, speaking
They
of
did.
good job, Liam Lawson qualifying landed himself in position 12 for the race.
he had some fantastic
good.
laps in qualifying. So go Liam Wilson. He's
Daniel Ricciardo,
I
watch
know.
out.
Or Yuki. Daniel or Yuki.
Or Yuki.
He did a
Watch
pretty
out. You
fine
see,
job.
my theory on this is they would probably end up replacing Yuki. Like, I don't think that they are going to replace Daniel with Hugo Boss coming in and doing a huge rebrand. They need like one of the most marketable, like big personalities in the sport. I don't see them getting rid of Daniel. So yeah, I think it could be
Yeah, no.
like a Daniel Liam setup.
I could see that.
Or do they just keep it?
Yeah,
Yuki
or
and
they might
Daniel?
keep it Yuki and Daniel.
Keep Liam as their reserve, and maybe halfway through next year, if Yuki's not performing, then they'll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they might give him another shot. Although they're pretty ruthless over there. I mean,
The old Red Bull.
4 drivers, 3 points.
Back to Ferrari again. Carlos had a very distinct track dominance to Max. Go Carlos. Go you good thing. And it was funny, just like looking at the little picture at the bottom. It was like mainly the straights. Max had him in the corners. Carlos had him on the straights, which was lovely. But
Pat, surely you have heaps of comments about Ferrari and qualifying.
I'm so happy. I mean, you saw my notes. It's like, Carlos! Exclamation point, exclamation point. Leclerc! Exclamation point, exclamation point. Yeah, they did so well. I'm so proud. It's like they really needed to be at home to perform.
they really did. They did. I was also going to say, but even with the drivers out in Q2, like Yuki, Liam, Nico, Valtteri, and Logan, I'm kind of worried about Logan now.
Oh, yeah, but we've been worried about Logan for ages.
No. As in, like, we were always saying he wasn't going to lose his seat. But I kind of think he might lose his seat. Because we have Alex.
I thought he was always going to lose his seat.
Did you?
Yeah, Mick Schumacher or Liam Lawson.
Yeah.
One of the two. Definitely. I could see Mick going there.
Well, maybe they'll get Liam Lawson.
Well,
You know, originally we've been saying Schumacher, but maybe they will get Lawson.
I was trying to back Logan. And you guys were just a hard no. And I was like, no, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Now I'm just like, it hurts because Alex is actually doing something good with that car. And now Logan just...
all weekend, everyone kept saying how fast the Williams are. They were like, the Williams are faster than anyone else on those straights. And that was a straight course. Absolutely.
So I think if Alex started where he did last week, he would have been... I reckon he could have been in contention for a podium. Plot twist.
Oh, plot twist.
love
Plot
to see that.
twist. Q3, Max into the gravel.
Oh, standard.
A little oopsie into the gravel. I saw this thing that the gravel isn't like loose gravel. How
Yeah.
it's so compacted. So if
Yeah.
like we walked up to it, we couldn't actually kick the gravel.
Yeah, it's
I
like
found that so interesting.
we have that here. Shout out to Pronto Concrete here in Australia, who actually did the Grand Prix track here in Melbourne. Very fun fact.
Not sponsored.
They do that sort of gravel for
unless
driveways.
they want to.
What'd you say? Sorry, Pat.
It's like, not sponsored. Unless they want to.
I know you might be listening.
We can talk about concrete. We can talk about it a whole thing.
100%.
We could talk about that all day.
Well, I think it's time we get into the race. As I kind of said before, a lot of people may have found that quite boring if you weren't really following everything that was going on. But I thought Carlos Sainz, you defending Max Verstappen was phenomenal.
It
For
was
13 laps?
13 laps,
13
except
laps.
after the formation and the
Oh my God, I
abortion of the
totally
formation.
forgot. Yuki
Oh,
Tsunoda.
Yuki.
I'm sorry, Yuki. I totally just forgot about you because you didn't even start because
Well,
of an engine
Pat,
failure.
you said that was what was
That is
frustrating you
so
on the
annoying.
beach.
Well, no, I was at home at this time, and I was like, "Oh, I can finally watch it. The Wi-Fi works." And then
It didn't work.
formation lap aborted, start aborted, and then all the engineers were freaking out because they're like, "The cars, like get the fans. The engine's like gonna overheat."
It
Well-
was so funny to watching them all like
Yeah, run down.
sprinting
Except,
down
did
pit
you see some
lane.
of the pit crew jump the fence?
Yeah, I saw that.
And then they just had to wait there.
Yeah.
That's not allowed. The gate wasn't open. And I was trying to zoom in. I was watching my iPad, so I couldn't like actually look. And I'm like, I bet you that's Red Bull. Like
It was Red Bull.
It was that
I
jumped the
think it
fence.
was Red Bull and Ferrari.
Yeah.
Nah, it wasn't
They fit
Ferrari.
those
Surely
guys.
I
not.
swear it was
Surely
Ferrari
Ferrari
as
wasn't getting
well.
there that quick. They were jumping the fence. No offense, Pat.
No,
They
it
were
was a
having
fight to
their
the death. It was
espresso.
like, "Save yourselves!"
Quickly
It's
get the
just-
tire
it's just
blankets
so
on.
I don't know why. I just found it so funny because it's like there's so much that go like there's so much going on in the world. There was so much like importance, like running down pit lane.
Well,
I don't know why. When you put it in like perspective, it's just
Yeah,
like,
it's
into a perspective,
stupid.
It's quite
I
funny.
know.
and then it's also stupid. Like, the drivers were getting angry. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we starting? They're like, Yuki's car's stuck. Like, it's stuck in a gear. His engine failed. We can't move it. And they're like, why can't they move it? Move it now. And they're like, we can't move it. Like, it'll happen when it happens. Like, just chill
It's like,
out.
yeah, we're all just gonna run onto the track and lift it up ourselves.
And it was
get it off the track.
30 degrees. So it was quite warm.
It was 42 on track.
Oh, okay. That's
42
even
on
warmer
track.
than what I
Poor
thought.
engineers. in their
I
full
think
race
about when
suits.
I used to compete and like out at Homebush in Sydney.
I was just
It would
thinking
be
that.
like some comps, it would get to like 42 degrees. You know, I'm in like a little crop top and tiny little things, and I would be dying, like sweating. I cannot imagine what they are feeling in those suits and their helmet and then inside a tin can.
Well, they get their like.
Like,
They've got their little freezer.
Yeah, I was
packs.
going to say they'll get the freezer packs put on them and the umbrellas. Did you see
I mean, that
Yuki?
doesn't really do that much.
But what I was thinking as well, and I thought of you, Amy, was, and I feel like I've felt this with dance competitions, like, oh, it's gonna get pushed out, and you're just like, can I just go
Yeah.
on? Like, I can imagine this would have happened to you multiple
Oh.
occasions where you're like, no, don't push it out. I want to go now. I'm ready. I'm in the zone. I'm in the headspace.
Yeah. Well, even like when I was jumping, it's not the same, but quite similar. Is they would always put like the 10K on when high jump was on. So it was like you'd have to walk out to the track, get into that right like mental state, frame of mind, pump yourself up, but then also you'd go to jump, but then someone's running past. So it's kind of like, okay, no, reset, do it again. Keeps happening. And you're just like, God damn. So having to like bounce in and out of that mindset,
Isn't that interesting?
quite hard.
I haven't competed in anything, so that just reminds me of like
You
bad
really-
Wi-Fi, like trying to like tether a video or something.
You're like, God damn it.
Why
Yes,
isn't the
that.
Sims working?
Like,
I'm
yeah.
trying to build a house.
Literally.
I don't know.
Or like today.
Yeah. Oh, watch
We're ready to record. Why can't we make it work?
Wasn't
That's my exact comparison. Except then I just typically pull a Yuki.
Yeah.
But Yuki though, when he got out of the car after he got out of the car. Stop the car?
After he
No,
stopped
after
the
the
car.
car stopped and then he got out of the car.
Yep.
So then the pickup truck comes and he just jumps in the front seat and he's just like waving and smiling at everyone like he's the fucking queen. I was
brilliant.
like, he was having the time of
I
his
love
life. He's
him.
like, I did not start. Hello.
So funny. I love Yuki. He's actually the best.
I get to go eat some pizza.
It was
now.
exactly that.
Yeah.
He was, I think also he was going around to all these race engineers all weekend giving them his favorite cookies from like Milan. He went and like picked them up especially
Oh,
for them. So he was
yes.
dropping them off to everyone. So I was like, he's just going to go back and eat like, you know, it's Yuki.
Cookies.
Yeah.
He's going to sit in the garage and just eat
Also,
cookies.
I don't know if you guys saw, and this only just happened. Carlos's watch got stolen.
Yeah.
in Milan.
And he ran
got
after
mugged.
them and got it back.
Yeah.
What?
I read.
Didn't you
yeah,
see
I
that?
read he ran
No.
after them, but I was like, did he
No,
run
I
after
saw
them?
a
Or
video
did
and
he
he's like hands on his knees, like
really?
panting, like exhausted because he ran after them and got them, and like cops came and people came.
Was this after or before the race?
That is
After
a
the
really
race.
Oh my
sexy image to think of.
I know. Oh my God. Some of the photos they were posting of Carlos, I was like, oh.
Have you guys seen the footage of Lando Norris on a Twitch? And someone just comments from the public and is like, I am in love with Carlos. My boyfriend hates it. Like, how can I be less attracted to him? And Lando just goes, imagine him without hair.
That's so good.
Like,
my God.
that's all I think about. And then it was like when Lando was on stage at Monza over the weekend and he sees a sign being like, Lando, please reject me so I can get over you. And he just reads it out in the crowd, like doing their pre-interview thing. And he goes, you're ugly.
You're
And
ugly.
it's like
Oh
the
my
most
God.
awkward. That was so good.
Well, the funny thing is, Peter knows how hot I think Carlos is, and Peter's like, yeah. he is.
Yeah, well, Peter can tell you now to imagine
And
him
he always
without
says,
hair.
he has good hair. He has good hair.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, now I
have-
can't unsee him without hair ever since I heard
Hairstyles.
that.
You're about to say it.
I just
You're
saw
about to
it.
say it.
Oh my God.
Send it. Send it, please. Send it.
He looks like the creepy uncle at your dinner table. Oh, okay.
coming.
That
It's
is going
coming.
up on the Instagram. He looks like a creepy uncle.
We don't want to do him
We don't want to do him
dirty.
dirty, except he looks like,
Oh my
I don't know.
God. I'm so sorry, Carlos. I love you,
Please send
but
it. Oh, no.
Lando was right. Lando
No.
was right.
We need to send this to that girl.
oh my God, I'm just gonna screenshot that and send it to Carlos.
Literally, like, go like this. Nice. Not on the nice.
Sorry, Carlos. If you
Well, his
lose
dad has a
hair.
nice head of hair, so I don't think he's going to lose.
No,
his
he has
hair.
a
Oh,
very
well,
thick.
I mean, segue into back to the race. He was probably losing his hair in the first 13 laps of that race because that is how long Carlos held on.
He would have been shitting his pants.
That is the longest that any
Mm-hmm.
non-Red Bull driver has led a Grand Prix this year in 2023.
Go, Carlos.
Like, not a bad effort.
I wrote
Solid.
it down somewhere, but I don't know where it went. I was like, where
Yeah.
did that go? My notes disappeared, like Carlos's
So
hair.
good. I also was going to circle back to the start of the race.
Mhm.
The commentators were like, that was perfect. He did it perfectly to cut off Max Verstappen.
Mm. He had a fantastic start.
Perfectly.
I
He
was,
got away really well.
but before the race started, I was thinking like Carlos and Charles are gonna actually have to work together to hold off Max.
Yeah, Charles.
And Charles.
Charles.
They're gonna have to work together. They're gonna have to be
Charles
a team.
forever.
And like, you know, Charles was going to have to
Charles forever.
stay nice and close.
They should have just driven like this the whole race. Really fucked.
I
They
know.
basically did almost.
Well,
The
they
end of the
pretty
race,
much
they
had to because, like we said, there's no like real driver one, driver two. They are a team.
combined.
They are Charlos.
A team that don't team. Basically,
Don't team.
they don't work as a team.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Hey,
they were
come
struggling. I
on.
mean, it was on the chicane around lap 15 that we saw Max take that lead and he just like went, "Meow." He flew off and got right in front of Carlos. And then I think those pit stops sort of mucked everyone around because it was so hot. They were expecting a one pit stop strategy for
two?
everyone. Yeah, two. Some had three.
Yeah. Well, because the track was so hot, like being 42 degrees, and that kind of like brings us into kind of like how we're speaking about tire strategies. Like this is a track where you use hard tires because you need something where the rubber isn't just going to melt off, basically, like burn and melt off.
Yeah.
Because if you're on those soft tires, you would have been on the track for 5 laps.
Well, the good thing,
5 laps, maybe.
the good thing about all those pit stops and people changing them was that I loved watching Oscar lead his first Grand Prix,
Yeah.
like first Formula One race for I think it was like 2 or 3 laps or something like that. He did it, and it was just like a
Didn't he already do it once?
no, that was a sprint. He
Oh,
hasn't, he
that
hasn't
was a
done it for
sprint.
an F1
Okay,
race,
yeah,
so
yeah.
That was pretty special to say that. Like, he was obviously managing the tyres well. Lando was getting a little bit frustrated because Lando was saying, I'm faster than him, like let me
I
in
heard
front
that,
and stuff. And they
yeah.
were like, just leave it. Like
Just race.
just race. You're not gonna
If you want to get in
over
front
it.
of him, you race him.
Yeah.
And get in front of him.
And look, I will say I
Yeah.
obviously had more emotional thought when I put that. I thought thinking that Oscar was going to be on the podium. It was all emotional, not like statistic thinking.
Purely
It was
emotional.
purely emotional.
Mm.
There was special watching him do that.
Mm.
It's like, go Aussie, go.
You can do it.
Until obviously Lewis
yeah.
banged him and then he had to change his.
And then got knocked out of the points.
Lap 42.
Yeah, and then he knocked him out of the points, and then he had a little bang up with Liam Lawson as well. It was not his
Yeah.
afternoon.
Well, he had to have. I think his front left wing was.
Oh,
Yeah, it was hanging
It
on.
It was
Oh,
dragging
yeah.
on the ground as
Snapped off.
as he was driving. That was Lewis's doing. Lewis apologized to him, but like all the fans
very clearly
watching the fans' response online, they were all like, "Lewis is such a bad person," blah 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 blah, and it's like, well,
They were
even-
they were racing. Like these things happen.
Yeah,
even
Oscar came
said
out
that.
and Oscar was like, he got his 5-second penalty, and he apologized to me, and also said it on camera. What more can I ask for?
Yeah. What more can the fans
Yeah.
ask for as well?
Yeah.
Like, just
That shows his Oscar's level of maturity. It's pretty special. But I
Yeah.
don't think he was too impressed with the Liam
Exactly.
Lawson situation because he wouldn't make any comment on that. So I don't know what happened there.
what actually happened? I totally.
I don't
missed
remember that.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was at the very end. They didn't even really show it on camera. It was just like a little bang and
Oh,
like an
bang.
undercard, and it was just
Oh.
boom, boom.
Oh.
You know, it was one of those things where like they literally stopped showing the end of the grid. They were just focusing on what was happening with Max.
Well,
But I
not-
guess
not
they had
even
to.
Max. It was more just
Yeah. Well, they had to focus
Charles
on
and
Max as well
Charles.
because it was like that was history making. That was.
Yeah.
There's no one that's done that before.
Max
Yeah.
made history.
I love when they were interviewing Jackie Stewart before the race and they were like, Jackie, do you think this is like pretty special? Like, how do you think of Max? And he goes, we'll see what he's like when he loses and has to come back. Then we'll see if he's special. And I was like,
Mic
"Ooh."
drop.
Providing the
Absolute
good.
mic drop. Yeah. But it just goes to show that a lot of spectators need to appreciate the history that we're watching.
Living.
Yeah.
Living.
That we're
Living
watching.
through. Yeah.
Living.
And then
We're living through, but watching, you know what I mean?
like
Jelly
sta-
bean.
statistically 15 out of
Yeah.
20 races at Monza are won from pole from qualifying. And so that's obviously not true because there was a lot of overtaking.
There was a lot of overtaking, a lot of defending,
It's
and a
just
lot
the
of
car.
wheel to wheel. There was a lot.
There was so much happening. I actually have a few fun facts. Shall we go through them?
The thing. Yes.
Which ones?
I was just going to say the thing for that consideration is just that the Red Bull car. Like,
Oh, the Red Bull car's flying.
unbeatable.
But also, just quickly, I was so proud of Ferrari having a good pit stop for Charles.
Oh, yeah. It was still a little bit slow, 3.3 seconds.
No, it was
but
2.3.
was this? Or maybe I was looking at Carlos's one.
Yeah, there was a 2.3. It was
Oh.
faster than, I think it was
Oh,
Perez
they've been
that came in. And I was like, oh my
practicing.
God, yes.
They've been
Finally. 'Cause I got
practicing.
so nervous. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. They're
Maybe
gonna-
they feel more relaxed whilst they're at home. They're like, oh,
They can't handle
My
the
mum-
pressure anywhere else.
my nonna has cooked home cooked meals.
God.
They feel relaxed.
The pasta's better.
I can say that because I'm half Italian.
Yep.
You can.
Yep, you can. All right, so I have a few fun facts about the race, so we'll go through them. So obviously we know that Carlos led the first 14 laps, and that's the longest that any non-Red Bull driver has had this year in 2023. Sainz finished 11.082 seconds behind the winning Red Bull. That's the closest any non-Red Bull driver has come to victory in any race in 2023. So it's the closest.
Well, when you
Wow.
think about it, Max
From
has
non-
always been so far
Yeah.
ahead. But for some reason, this race, it was like they all came around the last corner.
Yeah. So
and they're
that's the
quite close
closest
together.
besides Checo's part of the Red Bull family. So yeah, pretty impressive. Now this one also
Amazing.
is actually very impressive and makes me excited to see his future. Liam Lawson, he took P11 for AlphaTauri with the best result for anybody driving that car this season. So Nick De Vries' best was 12th, Daniel's best was 13th. Yep. So Liam's second race in F1.
What's Yuki's been?
Good on him.
I think Yuki's best. He got points once.
Yeah.
So, but this is that particular car. So,
Okay, so that exact car.
yeah.
Yep.
So Liam's
Okay,
the third driver of that car.
Yep.
Oscar, he set
on
the fastest lap time in his career as well.
He did. Wait, as in for the entirety of the race?
Yeah.
Or was it just this?
Entirety of the race, I'm pretty sure.
Or was it just the?
But it was
'cause
also-
I remember him being fastest lap at some
Yeah.
point, but that was quite early.
But he also set the fastest lap time for the first time in his career.
Yeah.
So that was pretty exciting for him.
Nice.
Bottas finished in
Good job,
P10
Oscar.
for Alfa Romeo. He had only scored 1 point in the previous 12 races. So, you know,
Yeah, haven't seen much.
yeah,
Of him.
he's been a little bit. I reckon he's focusing too much on the bike riding at the moment. I think we need to, you know, Tiffany, love that you guys have that hobby together of bike riding, but let's get back into the cars. And Charles Leclerc coming home fourth. Both Ferraris finished in the top four for the first time this season.
Yeah. About time.
Yay!
About time they did that.
We'd love to see it.
So they are my little fun facts for
Love
the
those.
greats, the race, the race.
The greats. They are the greats.
The greats, the greats of the race, the
They
greats
are
of the
the
race. I'm
greats.
particularly impressed with Liam Lawson, and I think everyone else will be as well. But we'll have to wait and see him in Singapore in a couple of weeks, see how he goes with that.
Mm.
That will be a real test because that'll be a tricky one.
Yeah, because they've got the barriers are quite
Mm.
close. It's all
Yep.
quite narrow. Whereas
It's
he's
tight,
had
it's bumpy,
very
it's hot,
wide open spaces.
long day, night
Mm.
race. It's all happening.
Yeah.
I was also going to say, just randomly, like going off fun facts, that I think it was the 1988 Grand Prix where McLaren, it was their winning tour.
Mm.
They won every single race, and then it came to Monza and Ferrari won. So I was like, going into this race, I was like, oh my God, maybe Ferrari will win, but they didn't.
But
I mean, they got on pole.
Didn't.
So that's fine.
They won in our eyes.
They did. Wait, no, they didn't. I mean, they won in our eyes, but on our podium, Perez still won. So I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I will say
The last
feel like-
6 laps, I was just going to say the last 6 laps were like nail biting.
Mm-hmm.
I was laughing so much at Checo at lap 46 when he was like whinging. He's not leaving me any room, man. He's not leaving me any room. Like trying to overtake Carlos. I was like, no shit.
That's the thing.
What he's going to be like, yes, come around the side.
Welcome, come in.
Come overtake
I do
me.
wonder that when they complain about no room. It's like, you're racing a car. Like, what do you
Yeah.
expect?
oh, they all think they all
Yeah.
push each other off half the time, and then they don't.
like, they're not in
Yeah.
lanes.
Mm.
Like, you're not doing a 400-meter sprint where you're in
Yeah.
your own lane. You're on an open racetrack. Like,
Yeah.
get a grip.
There's only so much room.
Giving it to them. Oh my God.
And then the last 5 laps, I was so stressed. Carlos and Charlos.
Charlos, what were they doing?
They were like, they were battling it out. They almost collided at one point.
Yeah, but the fact that Charles was basically told no risks. No risks. And then he dives into turn
There was a lot
one.
of risk.
I was like, oh my God.
Pew, pew.
What is happening? Because could you imagine if one or both of them ended up with a DNF on the last lap of the race?
Oh,
Which it very much could have, that could have happened because I was
Leave
like,
the
knowing
sport.
their luck, something like that would happen. I was just, oh my God, I was stressed. And then I,
I
actually
thought
couldn't get
about
back
it.
to sleep.
I was like,
too much.
I did think something was going to happen. Nothing happened.
yeah.
Surely something's going to happen soon. Like statistically, like it's not. I don't know.
But like
Mm.
Charles said post race that he enjoyed it. Like he loved the
Oh yeah, they all
racing
loved
them.
it.
Yeah.
They all
Everyone
loved
loved it. We all loved it.
Mm.
Lando didn't. He was like, I hated that day, and so was Oscar. Oscar and Lando like both openly said that they did not like that race. That was not good. I will say though, before I do forget this, all other Grand Prix around the world need to take note of Monza. How they position that podium over the actual grid is
Best.
incredible. And having all your fans underneath it. So traditionally, a podium sits in the pit lane you know, at like usually at the exit or the entry, and that's where they, you know, do all the celebrations and all your teams and everything is underneath you and any other guests that are in the paddock. But the way that Monza has it, like hanging over on that bridge and then the fans are right underneath. What? Oh, goosebumps thinking about it. Like the Italians, they know how to celebrate. Out there in red, they had the flares, the Ferrari flags. Like that was special.
It's so good. I think Le Mans podium is similar as well.
They need to do that everywhere.
Yeah.
Like what a moment to give back to the fans.
Yeah, but then I guess like it's kind of like the structure of their
Oh,
facilities.
yeah. Stuff the structure.
Yeah.
Of the track.
Stuff the structure.
So many places can't do it.
Everyone
because they
needs to
can't.
invest more money.
Invest. I will speak to Liberty. Invest.
You invest.
I cannot
you,
invest.
You can go to the Australian Grand Prix and be like, okay, I want a podium right here. I will give you $5.
Oh, God.
Please do it.
They'll give me that $5 back to go away.
Yeah. Please leave.
Please
Get out.
leave and go get a coffee.
Oh, my God, as well.
Buy yourself half a coffee with it.
Did you hear sorry, just going back to the race, McLaren tried to pull a dummy pit stop.
Really? When?
Oh,
I missed
I
that.
can't remember at what point it was exactly, but it was when I think Lando was behind Alex Albon. Or was it Oscar behind Alex? Whoever was behind Alex Albon, because I wanted to try and get Alex Albon to pit. So they said something. It wasn't like an actual pit, but it was like a weird phrase. And yeah, the commentators, they were like, yeah, I think they just pulled a dummy. But
That's
Alex
so
didn't
funny.
bite. Alex and their team didn't bite. I was like, that is hilarious. I didn't know they did that.
interesting. Cheeky.
Yeah. Didn't
Cheeky
work.
race.
Sorry.
Well, who were your drivers of the day?
Obviously, Carlos.
Yeah.
He did so well. At one point, before Max had overtaken him, the Sky Sports commentators were like, he's like the Spanish Armada holding him off. I was like, yes, he is. He really is. He deserved the driver of the day. He's my driver.
Yeah, I think he's my driver of the day
What
too.
about you guys?
I think he's almost everyone's
Yeah.
driver of the day.
Yeah, I think the way that Carlos held off Max in those first 13, 14 laps was pretty phenomenal, especially turn one.
Yeah.
How he just got away so well. I think that was pretty special. Yeah.
And then just the way he defended the
Yeah.
whole entire race. Yeah, it was either like Max coming up his butt.
It
Perez,
was, yeah. It
and
was just
then
good
Charles.
good to see Ferrari fighting again.
Well, that is everything for today's episode, our Monza Grand Prix wrap up. And we do not have a race this weekend.
No race this
I
weekend.
totally forgot.
No, we've got a break and then we head to Singapore.
Singapore, one of the best on the grid, I think. On the
which
grid, on
is
the calendar.
exciting. So for anyone playing along at home,
The only race I have this week is the race to the aisle.
Sprinting down the aisle. You're going to have a little pit stop.
that
Champagne.
was such a dad joke as well.
Oh, I like that.
Dad jokes all around.
It's a long aisle.
Is it?
It's a really long aisle.
Oh my God,
Have
what
you got a
shoes are you
Ferrari
wearing?
pit crew like
It's a lot.
getting you ready beforehand? Kidding.
Oh, there's basically so many of them.
Ferrari themed wedding.
Yeah, can you have an F1 themed wedding for us, please?
Yeah, I just call the planner. I need some more red.
Need to change everything up.
Change everything.
Yeah.
We need to change the colour scheme.
Well, for those playing along at home, when we are back next week, Pat will be married, which is very exciting. And then following that week, we will be in Singapore. And so the race is actually at 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that's exciting
Just
for
quite
us.
nice.
A little
Finally.
bit earlier as well. Although part of me was like,
It's not that much earlier.
I really enjoy getting up and doing my Monday morning ride. So
Oh.
I don't know what I'm
I
gonna do
always
now.
stay up. I don't know why, but there's more of a chance of me staying awake than there is of me getting up early.
Yeah, so I'm the opposite. I'd fall asleep.
Anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode and we will see
guys.
you next week.
And everyone wish Pat a good luck this weekend.
Happy
as
wedding day.
She goes to get married.
Woo!
I wonder how hungover she's going to be.
Yeah, we'll see that then next week.
Oh
All
my
right.
God.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
God, funny.
I can't believe you're getting married.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. It's insane. Insane.
You learn anything?
No, not really.
Yeah, well done.